Could just go to the next slide. We could introduce ourselves. So cool. Reed, Abril, let's start with one of you. Who would like to go first?
I guess I'll kick it off. Hi, my name is Reed Fletcher. I'm the community manager here at Morph. Been at Morph for about 6 or more months by now. I'm really excited to jump on this community call with you guys and talk a little bit further about our development updates, some cool ecosystem things that we've been doing, and hopefully we'll be able to do a lot more of these in the future. Hopefully the audience grows, and so thankful for all of you here today who are with us.
Awesome. Abril, would you like to go next?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Avril. I'm the DevRel at Morph. Also, I've been working for like 6 months now or seven. I don't remember. And yeah, I'm very excited to be here, especially because it's a developer call. So I will be really happy to answer all of your questions.
Awesome. I can go next. Hey everyone, this is Manbir. As I mentioned, I am working as the head of community with Morph. I joined about 2.5 months back. I've been into blockchain and crypto for the past 4 or 5 years now, mostly building communities and on the growth side. But yeah, excited to have you all with us on this very first Morph developer community call. And with us, we also have a few guests. So if you could go to the next slide, Reed. We do have dedicated slides for Team, DataGator, DeskNet, and Piggy Wallet. But Flynn, Sohei, Sergey, if you could just introduce yourself right now, that would be awesome. Who would like to go first?
I can, no worries. Hi, everyone. My name is Flynn. I've been a software engineer for about 15 years or so now, almost. I've spent the last 7 years working at Amazon as I focused on machine learning and AI. And so, yeah, been in Web3 for about 4 or 5 years. So looking forward to showing you what we built at ETHCC.
Hi
Awesome.
everyone, sorry. Hi everyone, my name's Sohi. I am a front-end developer designer. I've been a front-end developer for about 5 to 6 years. Yeah, and super excited to show you guys what we built with DataGator.
Great. Sergey?
Yeah, I guess it's my turn. Hey guys, my name is Sergey. I'm actually blockchain researcher at a different L2 protocol called BISC for almost 2.5 years now. And yeah, I will be showing off a cool thing that we built for ETH Global Hackathon together with two of my other friends who will not be here today.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Great to have all of you with us. Reed, if you could just walk us through the agenda, that would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing we will be going over is the introductions and ground rules, which we already did. So it's good to see everybody here. Thank you guys so much for joining the call with us today. And then we're also going to talk about what is Morph, our vision and mission, our ecosystem, and our modular architecture. So stay tuned for that coming up very shortly. That'll be very fun. And another hot topic we've been talking about so much over the last couple of weeks has been the ambassador program, the builder tier for developers, the advocate tier for DevRels. That fits perfectly in with the people in this call, so really excited to go over those once again. And then also we just introduced the great people from DataGator and DeskNet who will be giving a little demo for you guys, talking over what their project is, how it works, and what it is aiming to do. And we also have Piggy Wallet, which I will go ahead and present today as some of the team members couldn't be here, and we're really pumped about that. Next, rounding it all out, we do have a Q&A and some updates to go over as usual, which we do on all of our calls, so we're really pumped about that. So stay tuned for all of those things. It's going to be a great time.
Perfect. Let's kick it off then. Let's talk about Morph. So, what do we do? What's Morph? Morph is the global consumer layer, powering a distribution hub for the resource builders need to launch and scale for the mass market. So we are building a redefined version of Ethereum scaling experience by merging optimistic rollup and ZK technology with our decentralized sequencers as well, and layer 2 innovations for enhanced daily blockchain use. So we combine optimistic and ZK rollups for improved layer 2 scaling. We offer a modular approach that has three key areas, I would say, each serving unique roles for diverse needs. And we maximize batching in one rollup transaction on layer 1, which greatly cuts layer 1 transaction costs. Cool. We could go to the next slide. So this is our vision and our mission. We are building a consumer-centric blockchain future, and we are working on value creation on the blockchain. We're building and integrating user-friendly applications for everyday life on-chain, prioritizing utility over product metrics. And we believe that by catering to the non-crypto native, mass adoption will follow. And we are committed to enhancing the blockchain experience by providing scalable, secure, and user-friendly layer 2 solutions that make consumer blockchain applications accessible and valuable to developers, projects, and everyday users. So that's how we empower our users and developers. Cool. We are backed by the most trusted crypto VCs and angel investors, including Dragonfly, Pantera, Foresight Ventures, Spartan Capital, Maxi Ventures, even angels like Polygon, Galaxy, say. You can take a look at all of that, all of the big names. But yeah, would you like to add something to that, Abril, Reed?
I think I'm all good. You're on a roll right now. I don't want to mess up the flow, bro.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Great, great, great. So yeah, I believe this is all for this slide. We could move to the next slide then. So this is how the Morph ecosystem looks like. So these are the infra apps, DeFi apps, NFT apps, bridges, gaming applications, and wallet applications that we have right now. You can also visit our Morph website and go to the apps section to have a better view on all this. Reed, if you could just show us that, that would be awesome. If you could just pull up the tab and just walk us through some of the major applications.
Absolutely. It's one of my favorite things to do. I know a lot of you here might have seen Office Hours or a Fundamental Fridays segment where I go over this website probably 2-3 times a week. I absolutely love it. It's one of the coolest features that we have, and we get a lot of questions talking about what's an update from, let's say, QuickNode? What's an update from Python Network? And you can go right to this website and click their website or their Twitter page. Go follow them. Go stay up to date with everything they are doing. It's a really, really easy to use interface with different sections, as Manbeer mentioned, that goes over all the different applications in infra, DeFi, NFT, bridge, social, games, deepen, and consumer. And then, of course, the All tab. We have so many partners on here, and more will be added in the near future. We get that question a lot. Yes, we will be bringing more applications on to this website very, very soon. So stay up to date with that by following our Twitter page so you never miss a beat there. And like I said previous, also follow the Twitter pages of your favorite partners to stay up to date with their ecosystems, their news, and everything of that sort.
Perfect. That sums it up very well. So thanks for sharing that, Reed. We can continue with the presentation. I see a bunch of people from our community, very familiar names joining us. We have Jeannie from our team. We have a bunch of our ambassadors as well, which is great to see. Thanks for joining, everyone. Cool. So here's the Morph modular architecture. This is what it looks like. So just to walk you through it, traditionally, there are certain ways to prove the validity of a transaction. You could take the optimistic approach where you just assume that a transaction is valid, and then anyone could basically send out fraud proof to prove that the transaction is fraud. Whereas in ZK rollups, on the other hand, we need validity proofs to prove that a transaction is valid, just so that it gets on top of a blockchain. But what we do with Morph is we combine both of those approaches to provide you a hybrid rollup solution. So we give you the best of both worlds. And initially, the system operates optimistically, which means that it assumes the transactions are valid to allow for quick processing and low cost. And when a transaction is contested within Morph's challenge window, it's the sequencer that is required to produce a ZK proof to validate the transaction. And we call this approach a responsive validity proof, or RVP. And it comes with some key components, including efficiency and speed, which is basically a 7-day challenge window, which can be shortened to between 1 to 3 days. And generate a proof and engage in multiple rounds of challenge procedures, and just to make sure if anyone needs extra time to identify malicious submissions. And then there's reduced costs, which means that employing ZK proof, we basically have minimal transaction informations that is retained, so thereby significantly reducing the cost of L2 submissions. So when there's no challenge, that is no one challenging the transaction, the cost of ZK proof submission and verification can be ignored. So therefore, it becomes more effective than both optimistic and ZK rollups. So that's what the modular design looks like. But Abril, we have Abril with us, and but we have Abril with us as well. So Abril, would you like to share more about it and tell us more about the Morph architecture?
Yeah, I can actually go through some questions that we got from the community, if that makes sense. Because
Sure.
as you all know, we do office hours every Tuesday, and we got really good technical questions. And yesterday we got a lot, but I couldn't make it. So let's go over those ones. So the first one says, how does Morph ensure data availability for the transactions process off chain? Are you using an on-chain or off-chain data availability strategy, and what are the implications for security and scalability? So I want to explain that right now we're not using any DA provider like Celestia or Avail or EigenDA because we are using Ethereum. It's mostly for security reasons. And so, yeah, I will say Ethereum provides us the data availability. And also, that becomes part of our modular architecture because, as everyone knows, we have like different module layers. And I have questions too when I can ask. Should we go to the questions at the end, or what do you think, Mambir?
We have a
Someone is
dedicated
asking.
Q&A, so we can dedicate, say, 5 to 10 minutes towards the end for that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so that's the first question. Then the other question is, are nodes incentivized on Morph? So right now we're not doing any incentivized node runner, but everyone can run a node basically because it's part of our decentralized sequencer architecture. So anyone can run a validator node, although you will, for sequencers, you will need to go through a sequencer election process by the staking contract. So that's two different things that always people ask about it. So if you want to run a node, you can do it, but we're not incentivizing that. But if you want to run a sequencer, which you will be able to if you're a partner and you go through a staking election process in mainnet, then you will be able to do so. And yeah, it comes with different approaches, but yeah. Then let me see the other question. How does Morph handle cross L2 and L1 to L2 communication? So I think, I don't know if we have like an architecture diagram for that, so we can go through it, Mambir. If you
You
already
mean
have some
the Morph architecture itself?
for the communication between L1 and L2.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
if you.
Yeah, I think we do not have a dedicated architecture for it, but I could just walk you through the full architecture itself to,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah, that
yeah.
will answer the question itself.
Cool. So we are at it already, so I can go ahead and walk you through it quickly. So when a user initiates a transaction, it gets into the transaction pool, which is basically a set of sequencers. Abril can talk more about decentralized sequencers later, but just to walk you through it, when it gets submitted to a batch submitter, or it goes through basically a ZK proof, the ZK circuit. This is a standard procedure, right? Whenever you pass a transaction to a ZK prover, it generates a ZK proof. But instead of using a verifier, we are using a challenge contract, which relies on which essentially sits on layer one itself. So that's the layer one versus layer two segmentation. All the proof generation that you see is happening on the layer 2 side versus all the challenge contract and whatever challenge anyone makes to that transaction that happens on the layer 1 side. So that's how the communication happens on a very basic level, but we can come up with a proper explanation for that in the coming community calls as well, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, so that's how we reduce the basically zk proof costs, so that the costs are low and the security is still maintained high, so that we have high security, lower transaction costs, and the security that you need from zk proof themselves. Whenever that challenge contract generates a challenge for the transaction basically won't go through, which means that that's a fraud transaction. But if the transaction is not challenged, it proceeds with getting on the blockchain as usual. So that's how the flow works on a very basic front. But Abril, would you like to talk a bit more on decentralized sequencers? Tell us what's the basic difference between centralized versus decentralized sequencers, and why we use decentralized sequencers at the first place.
For sure, yeah. So I can go through it and explain, first of all, what is a central sequencer. So think of rollups consist of some components, and each of them are pretty different. That's why the concept of modularity. But they share some of these components. For example, the sequencer is what you can think of. You can pick up all of the transactions from the L2 mempool, and it decides whether to execute or discard them, like the transactions, to the information to other nodes, basically. And then we have the layer 1 rollup contract, which is a smart contract that lives on Ethereum, that receives all of these batches of transaction data that is happening on the L2. And it also receives the proofs, either fault proofs for optimistic rollups or CK proofs for CK rollups, to verify batches. And then I will say, like, the main role of sequencers in L2s is to read the transactions from this mempool and execute all of these transactions. And then without basically the sequencer, none of the rollup transactions will be handled at all. So it's actually really important, one of the most important pieces of the L2. And then this batch all of the transactions up together, and it basically it sends directly to Ethereum. Without the sequencer, basically we will not be able to send all of the transactions to the L1, which is the most important part. But we have, in our case, there's three types of sequencers: the shared sequencers, centralized sequencers, and the decentralized sequencers. I will just go through our decentralized sequencer. So basically what we use is a decentralized network of nodes to basically perform all of the responsibilities of the sequencer. And I would say it is more time consuming. It requires a lot of you know you need to take care of the sequencer because you're running a bunch of them. It's not like we have just one single entity running everything. um, but the benefit here is that it doesn't have a single point of failure that centralized sequencers do. So if you want to join these groups of sequencer, you will need to put some ETH as a kind of a premise, and this is done through basically the staking contract that you can see in our docs. We have a full section of that. And then they go through an election to become a sequencer, and it's a way to make sure that only the really committed participants get to do the job of running the sequencer. Once you're part of the sequencer set, the main task is to take all of the transactions that haven't been confirmed and you basically put it into blocks. And then these work together to check and agree that everything in these blocks are basically correct. And it uses a method called Tendermint consensus, which we also have a document section for that. And this is for the agreement. It's a way basically for all the sequencers to make sure that they're seeing all of the transaction, all of the basically same transactions in the same order. And it really helps the network to be more secure and run faster. And then when they agree on the transactions, these are officially, let's call it, recorded onto the blockchain, so onto the L1. And then we have something called the BFT consensus protocol, which implies the layer 2 blocks generation. So the selected sequencer extracts the transactions from the mempool. This builds the blocks, and this synchronizes blocks with other sequencers, because imagine that it's not just like one or two sequencers, we'll have many sequencers. And so this synchronized all of these blocks with the other sequencers to go through verification and voting. And so the end result of this is the generation of the new L2 blocks. um, so yeah, hopefully this was a fast summarized introduction to decentralized sequencers, but if you want to know more, we can have like a dedicated section in our developer community calls for our decentralized sequencers, or you can check the docs.
And just to add to that, Abril, I know you mentioned one of the benefits of using decentralized sequencers as you don't operate on a single point of failure, but very, I would say, overlooked or one of the biggest benefits is also that no one can censor your transaction. In the past, if you use layer twos on a regular basis, you must have heard of some other layer twos. I won't like to name them, censoring transactions because they pretty much own the sequencers, which is not a case with Morph. So we use decentralized sequencers, which means that no one can censor your transaction. There's no MEV stuff. You don't need to deal with any of that, which is a big part of it as well. Cool. Let's move on to the next section then, which is Morph Ambassador Program. So I know a lot of you are excited about it. I see it in the chat, asking questions about what it is and if how was the selection criteria like, things like that. So just to walk you through it, Morph Ambassador Program is basically a program for visionary leaders driving the adoption and innovation of Morph as Ethereum's global consumer layer. Morph acts as a distribution hub for the resources that builders need to launch and scale for the mass market. So we need a diverse group of people to help us succeed in that. Cool. We can go to the next one. Our ambassadors are the believers, practitioners, and change makers, developers, educators, researchers, writers, public speakers, NFT artists, storytellers, meme makers, and creators, you name it, anyone who wants to contribute to Morph and the broader Ethereum vision by doing what they love. So they help us distribute vital resources, produce and distribute vital resources, I should say, connections and everything needed to build on top of Morph and launch and use innovative solutions on Morph. So that's in a nutshell what our ambassador program is. Cool. So we have three tiers associated to the ambassador program: builders, advocates, and explorers. Builders essentially are developers. So they build consumer-focused applications, provide feedback on products and roadmap, and offer thought leadership for the community. Then advocates, you can think of them as, set of active, advocates or devrels that have an active voice in the ecosystem. And they create intermediate to advanced content, which is ideally technical but doesn't need to be technical. They judge at hackathons and translate or offer feedback on content and events. Then we have explorers, of course, who moderate community platforms, moderate virtual chats, events, establish new language channels, and help generate traction among consumers on social media. Reed, Abril, would you like to add anything to that? Oh, Reed, I can't hear you. I think you unmuted.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Weird. Sorry. But yeah, the ambassador program has been absolutely amazing over the last couple of weeks. We have seen so many great individuals create so many great contents and build so many cool things for us. It's been absolutely wonderful. I know I'm getting on a ton of Twitter spaces with the broader community and pushing the Morph name out there because the ambassadors have the passion to really want to go out and make these things happen. And we get so many questions every single day about the ambassador program. So to clear some of those up, some of the main questions we get are like, is there a term limit for ambassadors? Like, if I'm an ambassador for 3 months, will I be removed or something? And no, there's no term limit for the ambassadors. As long as you are an ambassador, it's your choice to stay that way, right? We want to see your passion. We want to see you do the best of the best work. And if you keep doing that, if you keep contributing, you can be an ambassador for as long as you'd like. Another thing is there a cap on how many ambassadors we plan to bring on? And the answer to that is no. We will bring on the best of the best, the top 1% of the individuals in the space, whether that be for the builders, the advocates, or the explorers. And we want to make sure that you are really passionate about your work. And we take this very seriously. We have over 1,000 applications right now, and we have only brought in, I think, just under 60 people. So we really, really take our time to look through these applications. We really make sure that the individuals that we are bringing on will contribute in a huge way to the broader Morph ecosystem, to the Ethereum ecosystem, and for global adoption as far as just cryptocurrency and blockchain goes. Another big question we get is is there like a certain thing that I need to be, like a developer, or do I need to be a content creator? Do I need to have 50,000 followers on Twitter? And we talked about it in a slide previously. No, you can be so many different things. You don't have to just be a developer or a content creator with a large following. If you think you can contribute to your local ecosystem, if you think you can contribute to a developer ecosystem, please apply. Seriously, we absolutely love to see all applications. It makes us really jump for joy when we see you apply because it shows us that we are doing good work over here, and it shows us you want to be a part of Morph in a bigger way. So we really appreciate all of the applications that we are getting, and the work has been absolutely astounding. If there are any ambassadors in the chat right now, I just want to personally thank you for all the work that you have been doing, all the work that you will do to really elevate Morph to the next level, elevate yourself to the next level, and elevate blockchain and cryptocurrency to the next level. You are doing absolutely amazing. So that's my little piece. Sorry if I rambled a little bit, and just thank you guys so much.
No, you summed it up really well, and thanks for sharing that, Reed. Just to mention on while we're at it, Flynn is also one of our ambassadors, and he joined a few days back itself, and we'll be hearing from Flynn very very soon. But yeah, we also have Alex from the chat. I see we have Jacoby. We have a bunch of other people as well who are there in the chat who have joined us as an ambassador already. So yeah, excited to see you all there. Cool, we can move to the next one. So yeah, you all must be thinking, we all do so much as ambassadors, so what do we get out of it? There's a lot you get out of it. So builders get contribution-based compensation, exclusive swag package, access to Moss grants and accelerator program, retreats, mentorship sessions, and a lot more. Advocates get contribution-based compensation, exclusive swag package, mentorship sessions, grants, periodic retreats, and a lot more. And explorers get monthly compensation based on exemplary performance, standard swag package, learning sessions, Morph Explorer NFTs, and a lot more. Cool. So that's what you get. And of course, you get to learn a lot when you're building something, say, unique, when you're building a consumer focused application, when you're bringing new use cases to Morph. Of course, when you're writing a new blog or an article to help other people understand how to get started building on Morph. You are learning in the process as well. So you are also adding to your own resume, and you get to showcase that whenever you, say, for example, participate in your next hackathon or apply to, say, join a new company and so on. So you get to take that experience as well. Cool, we can move to the next one then. All right, so that's what we have now. We have ETH Global Brussels Hackathon Showcase. Finally, we have some of the really, really amazing people with us, Flynn, Sohei, and Sergey. So I would like to, let's move to the next slide. I would like to invite Flynn and Sohi from Team DataGator. DataGator is an application that provides an interface for a fair and equitable exchange of data with AI. And let's hear it up from Flynn and Sohi. Flynn, Sohi, would you like to quickly introduce yourself again and tell us what you've built?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so as mentioned, we've built this essentially consumer application that's kind of at the intersection of blockchain and AI. And it's pretty exciting. So I'm looking forward to showing you. And I've done that, of course, with my awesome developer partner here. So, Hema, introduce
Hi
yourself quickly.
everyone. Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, I'm really proud of DataGator. When we came up with the idea, we really thought about how can we really make a consumer-based AI product, and how can we get it in the hands of not just Web3 people, but everyone.
Yeah. Shall we dive into a bit of an overview now?
Sure, sounds good. Would love to take a deeper dive. Reed, if you could just stop sharing and let Flynn and Sohi share their screen, that would be awesome.
Thank you. Okie doke. Should be able to see my screen.
Yep, I can see it perfectly.
Awesome. Okay, so this is essentially the intro here to DataGator. We did some really fun artwork as well, and as you can see, we have an alligator that's chomping on some social media icons here. So the whole idea of DataGator is really allowing a way for users, everyday users of AI products, like all of us here have probably used ChatGPT, to be able to sort of come up with a way in which you can give your data willingly and consentfully to a platform. And then that platform can utilize that data to answer questions that people might ask, right? So every time one of us might go to ChatGPT and we might ask some basic question, that data has essentially been scraped from the internet as part of a large-scale training operation that happened many years ago, and it's being served to you as an answer. But really, no one was paid in that. No one was exchanging of any. There was no exchange of sort of contractual agreement of how that data would be handled, and no one earned from it. And there was also no consent for that as well. So what we want to do is we want to offer a more streamlined and equitable way and a fair way to offer users, consumers, a way to consume AI data. So this is essentially how it works. You can head over to, it's not actually fully live yet, so I'll just show you sort of how it works as it's still on testnet, of course. So how it works is typically as a user of the platform. So this is someone who's going to give their data to the platform, right? So we do this because as a user who gives their data to the platform, you actually earn when your data is used in what we call inference. In machine learning, we have this concept called inference. It's basically when you ask an AI model like ChatGPT for data and it gives you back, you're inferring data from the model, and that's the word inference. So how this works here as a user is you actually come in and you connect different bits of social media. So you can connect your LinkedIn, you can connect your Facebook, you can connect Spotify. And what you're actually doing is you're consentfully giving your data of all of those platforms to the DataGator application and to the model that we actually train behind the scenes of all of your data. And so this is a bit of it might sound quite scary at first, but actually this is all already happening behind the scenes. Everything you write on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and everything is already, of course, being used to train the models that are owned by these corporations. So what we're doing here is making it a bit more obvious and allowing you to actually opt in willingly. So you would go through and you would basically click the things that you want to link, and then you can basically just submit your data down the bottom. And what that allows you to do is just to have your data then ingested into essentially our model. And I'll show you what that looks like when your data is actually ingested into the platform. You can then go and chat with the model. So I'll say a new chat. I'll just create a new chat. And here in this new chat, I could just say, I'll ask a very sort of simple question, like who should I talk to about building on Morph? So we're asking the model who we should talk to about building on Morph. And you can see we actually get a response from the model in real time, just like ChatGPT. But you can see what we're actually getting here is a lot more unique, specific information. We're even getting things that we're getting information like we should attend this current call that we're on right now, right? We're getting real-time information that's come from Twitter and from other places that these people have willingly given the model, right? We can see here there's all sorts of people to talk to, Cecilia, other people and so on here, and there's also links to them as well. If you were to click any of these, they would be links directly to, in this case, the Morph Twitter account. And anyone who's mentioned here would also become a link, and also even the invite link to join this call. But what's interesting about this is that you actually see down the bottom here, every one or all of the bits of data that were used to create this response from the model are referenced here. So everything is citable. We use citations for everything. You can see exactly where the data came from. So if I look here, I'm actually seeing the tweet from the Morph Twitter account that actually references this call that we're on right now. And that's used as part of what we call retrieval augmented generation, which is a fancy word in the AI space for taking lots of bespoke data and joining it together into a formalized response. But the most important thing about the whole thing is that all of those people that you can see here, these 5 or 6 people here, whose data was used to create this tweet, they all receive tokens in real time for giving that data to the platform. So you can see here's the transaction that was just created a minute ago from me asking that question, that all of those bits of information was joined together, and all of the people who contributed that data to the platform are actually paid in real time in the DataGator token here. So it's a very seamless way to allow people to contribute and put their data into the platform, and then anyone can talk to it and ask questions like, who are the Morph ambassadors, for example, and anyone who has mentioned on Twitter, LinkedIn, anything who might be a Morph ambassador, their information would be here and be sort of referenced as in some specific way. So again, it's a streamlined way to sort of make a fair and equitable way of providing data to open source, well, to models and to making that available to consumers. So.
Amazing, amazing. This really feels unreal. The way it provides all the answers, it's like you're talking to an actual person and not AI
Yep.
itself.
That's the whole idea. And if you actually look at ChatGPT and you go and who should ask the exact same question, like who should I talk to about building on Morph, like you'll get a far poorer answer. You don't get any specific details. You don't get any names. You don't get anything. So we actually think that when it comes to creating a consumer-based product where I can interact and see specific people, entities, I can click links to join calls directly, all that sort of stuff, we have what we believe is a superior product.
And
Awesome,
what we
awesome.
would like to do for the future as well is to, once we have all this data, like if you're a marketer and you want to know like how people are speaking about your product, speaking about things that matter to you, like being able to have real-time data makes a big difference in being able to grow your community, and also just highlight the people that are your ambassadors quite organically.
This is brilliant. Thanks a lot for sharing that. So yeah, just to better understand, how did you build it and eGlobal Hackathon itself? Did you get started with the Morph documentation? Did you take any support from our internal team? How was the experience overall?
Yeah, the experience was fantastic. Testnet was seamless, fast, and smooth. We had a good chat with of course yourself and the team at the desk, and no issues. Everything was really fantastic in that regard. So it was a blast, and yeah, we're looking forward to doing it again in
Really
Bangkok
simple
coming up soon.
integration.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Abril, do you have any technical questions like about what's next about the project or how they built it?
Yeah, I would love to know about how you guys are approaching like the roadmap, the future, like the next year of DataGator, because this is actually awesome and I would love to see it succeeding, and I will, the whole team will try to push forward to that. So yeah, what's the current roadmap?
Yeah. So the current roadmap is really just ironing out the small kinks that we have at the moment. We want to do more formalization of on the display side here on the interface to make things look a bit more professional and formal. But really, what we're looking for now is other interested parties that are interested in supporting this and helping us build this and grow. So it's a bit of a two-prong approach where we have an amazing development team, but we're just sort of looking to see how we can sort of build a sort of support group around us to propel this to the next stage.
We're also talking to like Web2 marketers, not just Web3 marketers, because like that's the whole point, right? We see this as a tool for everyone, not just people who are crypto native. And so we're getting a lot of good feedback from Web2 marketers, like what they look for, what their issues are, the amount of data that they use on a daily basis just to try and retarget people is pretty interesting. So how can we make that more accessible to them? Because I feel like this is a tool that really helps them the most. Or helps everybody, but yeah.
Yeah, we think marketers will enjoy the idea of talking to an aggregated audience that they might want to interact with
Instead
or
of
engage with.
instead of dashboards, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing, amazing. This is so inspiring, and thanks for building this firstly, and thanks for sharing your experience of building on Morph as well. Abril, Reed, do you have any other questions before we?
Not from my side.
Yeah, I don't think I have any questions, but I will say that that looks unbelievably cool. That is awesome. I love how it works.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
completely agree.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sergey, you can also ask any questions if you have about the project.
Yeah, I posted in Q&A. I was just curious, what model did you use, guys, to train the Gator one?
So we're using Claude 3.5 Sonnet behind the scenes, but it's really model agnostic. Essentially, we have the proxy layer that we can point to any model.
So you
yeah.
you just take this. Do you somehow scrape the information from the social media post and feed it into the model, or do you do something different?
Yeah, so essentially, during that opt-in process where the user essentially links their accounts, they authorize Datagator to access their content through standard OAuth mechanisms, and then the data is essentially fed through an ETL pipeline, which we then create optimized text formats that we can sort of feed into our retrieval augmented generation pipeline. So it's not actually retraining or fine-tuning on the model itself. It's essentially just a RAG process where we're joining bespoke data to create a formalized output.
Yep, makes sense. Sounds cool.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks for sharing that, Flynn. And so, hey, I'm really excited about DataGator and the future of it. Definitely keep us posted on how it goes and whatever support you need from our side. Moving to the next one, we have Team DeskNet and we have Sergey from Team DeskNet, which is essentially a deep in project that incentivizes users in a particular area to create stashes of some items to prepare for a natural disaster, uh, be it medicine, inflatable boats, radio retrievers, and so on. And that's the link that I can also post in the chat. Cool. Sergey, would you like to share your screen and show us the project and talk more about it?
Yeah, sure. I think you already did quite a good introduction to the project. So this is I'm just showing a video. I know it's I will not be able to refer to this unfortunately, because so this was a hackathon project that we built in Brussels, and yeah, now so the backend is not running anymore. So I'll just show you the website, but to show some of the features, yeah, I will just illustrate this on this video. But yeah, I will just tell you a bit about this idea, about this project, because I think it's a cool idea. So yeah, as we've already mentioned, the DeskNet is a project to incentivize people in a chosen area to create stashes, how we call them, basically to um, buy and hold some physical items that are needed to prevent some natural disasters. And this this is, yeah, as you said, a DeepIn project, a decentralized public infrastructure network project, where this was the initial starting point to think about this. Yeah, there are many DeepIn projects that are quite hot now, quite a lot of interest in the whole ecosystem and the community. But I thought that many of them usually work with some digital computational resources, Filecoin, for example, or some decentralized computing. So I wanted to come up with an idea that somehow goes a bit more into the physical world, something that you can actually do. And yeah, and also the kind of the whole idea of this network depends on users verifying each other. So there is this involvement, yeah, and engagement. Maybe to say a couple of words about why I think this is a good idea, and maybe a bit more generally, not only as a hackathon idea, but even as a if that was an actual working application, which it is not. But if it were, then I think a nice bonuses for it is that the in the climate change increases the risks of natural disasters, and a good way to prepare for a natural disaster to minimize the damage is to take some items that are needed in the area that are affected, like medicine, for example, or inflatable boats in the case of flooding, and put them in the areas where they will be needed the most if the disaster happens. And then also, I was thinking about Southeast Asian countries where they show not only the high risks of these natural disasters, but also high blockchain adoption, and they treat the blockchain as actually, yeah, a solution for some problems and not just some get rich quick scheme. So maybe I will tell you how it works. So all the tokens and basically all the funding is coming from a government or from an NGO that provides all the incentives on chain, and they also describe what and where should be stashed as a preparation for natural disasters. So then users have to create the stashes and create geo-verifiable photos of the stash, meaning they have to take the items and take a photo with some landmark on the background, so it's clearly identifiable, let's say on Google Maps or on open satellite imagery, so you can verify that actually with a good chance this photo was taken in this particular location. And I mean, you can also ask to write some ID on items to increase the chance, increase the the certainty. Yeah, and then the users, in order to receive the reward, they have to vote on other user submissions, review them, and if they vote incorrectly, then they kind of lose part of the reward. So they're very much incentivized to yeah, to be correct. And also all the information, like the photos, the submissions, they are public. They're publicly available on a centralized server with the hashes of everything being put on chain to verify that the data is correct. And everybody can review this data and see if, okay, there were some fake photos, maybe generated with AI, maybe with Photoshop, and they can open disputes, and if they are correct, then they can earn the tokens. So they're basically incentivized to look for this fake entries. So maybe let's go and see how this works. So here you can see that some flash campaigns that are created where users can choose one, and then here on the left you can see the description of what's need to be stashed. On the right there is a location which is not displayed on the map, but there's a rectangular area. So then you can, and this is somewhere in Indonesia, you can choose where you're creating a submission, basically put the coordinates. Then here you can see you can upload a photo. Yeah, so I mean, this is just a test photo, but this should be kind of a geo-verifiable photo. You put some description, and then there is a transaction created. And basically, here you can see there is this submission, yeah, that other users are then assigned to either accept or decline, and yeah, then you can kind of look through the submissions, and yeah, judge them and make a decision. Yeah, so maybe that's basically how it works. All the smart contracts are deployed on Morph, and yeah, all the interactions kind of done on chain. So yeah, this is the idea, and yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions you have about this project.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for sharing that, Sergey. I really love the project. I love the idea. It's a highly practical idea, and thanks for building this on Morph. And yeah, would love to hear from you. How was your experience of building on Morph? Did you get started with the documentation? What kind of feedback do you have for the documentation? Did you seek any support from us during the hackathon? How did it go?
Yeah, so I also double the experience of the Gator team. Everything was very nice. Also compared with some other blockchains that I was working on with previously. So the documentation was very helpful. Kind of when the section for developers, it's quite nice. The data is there, and what also I liked a lot, the verification of contracts was very nice, and it was making tips because sometimes on other blockchains verification of deployed smart contracts can be a problem, but it was, you know, all around very smooth process on Morph. Yeah, it was good.
Perfect. Great to hear that. Abril, Reed, do you have any technical questions or anything about the project?
For me,
Not for my
sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Reed. I have to say, for some weird reason, I cannot hear you during this whole meeting. Everybody else I can hear, but you, I see that you talk. There's the green circle, but no, I don't hear any audio.
Uh-oh, that's not good. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, this is weird. So maybe if you can write in the, I don't know, or anybody else.
That's fine. I could let you know if Reed has any questions, but yeah, go ahead. Abril, Reed, and anything to add?
Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and go and talk through you, Manbeer, I guess. But
Sure.
like you said, Manbeer, the idea is extremely practical, and it's something that seems like it's very needed in the space. And just, I don't know, I just love how it works. And my question would be, what made you want to pursue this idea? What made you see this as a missing link in the space and wanted you to pursue this? Because it's something that we don't see a lot of in the blockchain cryptocurrency space. We see a lot of meme coins and NFTs for video games and things like that. So actually seeing a idea that could impact the world in such a positive manner is awesome. It's really cool. And so, what made you immediately think of that and go to that as one of your first submissions in the hackathon and continue to build it?
Great. So I'm not sure, Sergey, if Reed's question was audible to you, but I could pass that on to you. So Reed is asking, what made you pursue this idea, and why not some other project? Considering that this idea is very impactful, it impacts a lot of people in the world. So how did you get the idea, and what inspired you to build it out?
Yeah, so I think the big factor was this decentralized public infrastructure network. Basically, the paradigm or approach. I think it's a very nice idea where you can build from ground up. You can create some really impactful networks. In this case, it's like a network of stashes that can be in the areas where you need them to be. But yeah, there are some. I think there is a big problem with the deep-in projects that have to do something with actual physical stuff, because it's very hard to prove that something actually happened. So I tried really to see kind of, okay, what can be done with this. In this particular case, I think it's just something that everybody can understand why this is important, and everybody can kind of grasp why this is an important idea. And in this um, in this setting, I was exploring the idea of geoverifiable photos and thinking, okay, how far can they go? How much can they prove? And yeah, just thinking about this. That was basically my interest in doing this project.
Awesome, awesome. I know you can't hear me, but that's awesome.
Yeah, Reed is just saying that he loves the idea, and that's just awesome.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
yeah, thanks for sharing that, Sergey. I absolutely love the idea. I think it's very, very practical, especially in countries that are facing serious issues in terms of natural disasters. So yeah, thanks for building it out and thanks for sharing. Before we move on, so hey, Flynn, do you have any questions for Sergey?
No, I love the idea. I think it's
Oh, it's
awesome.
really, yeah, really cool, unique idea.
Okay, guys.
Awesome. Cool. We can move to the next one then. Next up, we have Team Piggy Wallet, which was built by Marcus and Sophia. Unfortunately, Marcus and Sophia are traveling right now, so they couldn't just join us on this community call. But just to walk you through it, it's a crypto savings app for kids featuring time logged savings, USDC auto swaps, goals, task bounties, AI coach, parental control. Ooh, that's a lot, and it combats hyperinflation. It boosts financial literacy, and there's a link that I can drop in the chat as well. But Reed, would you just quickly walk us through the project, if you don't mind?
Absolutely, I'd love to. All right, I already have it pulled up on the screen here, ready to go. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, and we'll get right into it. Don't want to keep it too long, so I'll try to move through a little bit quicker. But if you have any questions, please be free to let us know, and we'll answer them the best we possibly can. So, Piggy Wallet, like Mamir just mentioned, Piggy Wallet is a kids crypto savings app featuring time lock savings, USDC auto swaps, goals, task bounties, AI coach, parental controls, combats hyperinflation, and boosts financial literacy. The project description is empowering youth financial resilience in hyperinflationary economies. In regions battling extreme inflation, Piggy Wallet emerges as a revolutionary solution, leveraging blockchain technology to transform how families save and educate their children about finance. What are some of the key features that you can expect from Piggy Wallet? Effortless smart wallet creation. Simple email-based sign up for both parents and children. No need for complex wallet setups or understanding of crypto technicalities. Secure blockchain-based accounts accessible through user-friendly interfaces. Age adaptive savings lock. Savings automatically locked until the child turns 18, based on the child's birth date provided during setup. Parental override option for early withdrawals in case of emergencies. Intelligent fund management. Automatic conversion of any received cryptocurrency to USDC stablecoin. Protection against local currency devaluation, and easy deposits via QR codes and shareable payment links. Customizable saving goals. Create multiple saving objectives like a new bike or a college fund or anything of that sort. Smart allocation of incoming funds across different goals, and real time tracking and visual representation of progress. Next, we have task based reward systems. Parents set up tasks with associated crypto rewards. Children earn additional savings by completing chores or doing responsibilities. Fosters positive habits while building financial assets. Age adjusted AI financial advisor, or PiggyBot. Personalized financial education tailored to the child's age. Natural language interface for easy interaction both with text and audio. Covers both traditional finance and crypto topics. Adapts complexity and content based on the child's age, like talk to me like I'm 10 years old. And helps children understand the importance of inflation resistant savings. Family Financial Dashboard. You get a comprehensive overview of all family member savings and goals. It promotes transparency and collaborative financial planning. And seamless user experience. An intuitive and friendly interface designed both for children and adults, gamified elements to make saving engaging and fun. Now, why does Piggy Wallet stand out from the rest of the pack? It addresses a critical need in hyperinflationary economies, combines financial education with practical saving tools, leverages blockchain for security and transparency without technical barriers, adapts to each child's age for personalized learning and interaction, empowers families to take control of their financial future, and potential for significant impact in emerging markets. And the vision of Piggy Wallet is it aims to create a generation of financially literate and economically resilient youth in challenging economies. Not just building an application, they're fostering a movement towards financial empowerment and stability. By providing tools that are secure, educational, and easy to use, Piggy Wallet is revolutionizing how families save, learn, and thrive in the face of economic uncertainty. Join us in the movement to secure not just savings but futures. And of course, we can send the link to the pitch deck and the demo into the chat if you would like to learn more.
Perfect. Thanks a lot for sharing that, Reed. It's a really exciting project for me personally. I see this has won a lot of other bounties as well, and also ended up being actual finalist as well at the ETH Global Hackathon.
Yep.
So yeah, really grateful to the team for building this out. But Abril, I know the people who built this are really good friends of you, and you also really like the project as well. So maybe would you like to cover on their behalf since we don't have a team here? Would you like to say anything about the
Yeah,
project? Do you like it?
I would say I would say that because they're covering a lot of things that in Argentina people are facing, and I'm from Argentina, so like economic problems they're a big thing. They're actually trying to solve a use case, an existing use case, and I'm a very big fan of founders that have a purpose in mind like this. And it doesn't only involve Argentina, but involves many countries in the world that are facing this kind of problems, inflation, and all of this. So, yes, I absolutely love this product, and I hope they build it. Sadly, that we cannot ask them now about the roadmap, because I would love to see how they're gonna evolve in the next few months and years. But it's something that I would love to see growing as we also grow with Morph. So
Awesome, great. Thanks for sharing that, Abril. Any thoughts on that? Reed, Flynn, Sohei, Sergey.
Yeah, like
This
Abril mentioned.
honestly, sorry.
You can go ahead.
I was just going to say this honestly was one of my favorite projects at the hackathon as well.
Yeah, and just like Abro mentioned, so many different regions in the world need something exactly like this to help bring them out of their hyperinflationary economic struggles. So we see it all over the world nowadays, where it's just getting out of control. And so this can really help set up not just an entire family's success for their future, but teaching their children how to be financially responsible is a big key, especially at a young age. So this learning tool is absolutely amazing.
+1 to that. It's a great app.
Great, yeah, I personally love it as well. I think it's not just usable in a few countries, but I personally feel it would go a long way in many different countries around the world. And yeah, people that are trying to save, trying to teach their kids, I think it's very useful for them. Cool. We can move on to the next one then. Reed, would you mind slides? Perfect. Cool. Feel free to take it over from here.
Awesome. So once again, we talked about a lot of these updates on Office Hour sessions and Fundamental Friday sessions in the last couple of weeks, but since we do have a new audience here today, it's good to go over it once more. So we did go through a Morph Holsky upgrade earlier in the week. I think, yeah, it was earlier in the week, about last week, and so we're really grateful that we were able to do this. You might have noticed some quality of life changes and some fixes, especially to the Morph Bridge, which was a big topic of discussion for a lot of our community, and we're really excited to see that going forward and working a lot better for you guys. So if you did notice a little bit of downtime, we're back up and running now. No worries, and if you do see some glitches, if you do see some bugs that you would like to report, please do so. You can do that by making a Twitter post and tagging our main account, tagging me or one of the team members. You can do that by going to Discord and going to the feedback channel that we have provided there for you and tagging me once again or any of the moderators that are in the house, so we can go ahead and get that to the proper channels and see if there is anything that we need to do about that. And like it says on the screen, we did complete the upgrade and all services have returned back to normal after a brief downtime. So what were some of those changes that were made? We're really excited about all these, and they're going to make your life so much easier moving forward. So The following updates will take effect at block height 6330180 around August 14th, which was a week ago today. So it's been a little bit since we have implemented these changes. So we did add support for tload, tstore, and mcopy opcodes, updated L1 data fee calculation mechanisms, reduced rollup gas costs by modifying the batch header and optimizing the storage structure and rollup sol, improved block production efficiency, optimize the withdrawal process for further shortening of the user withdrawal period. And we're really excited about those changes. So if you have any questions about those, you can please go ahead and go, like we said, to the Discord, or on Twitter, you can leave us a tweet, and we will be sure to get back to you as soon as we possibly can. And please give us feedback on how you think the testnet is going and what you think could be improved. We absolutely love seeing all of you come together and supporting us and making sure that we are going to be the best we can possibly be for you guys. And up next, we do have a Morph Starter Kit that did launch earlier in the month. Really excited about this. The Morph Starter Kit is now available for download for all developers and aspiring builders. This kit is a quick and easy way to start your build on Morph with the ready-to-go templates. Perfect for Morph. I know Abril can probably go into this a little bit further, so if you would not mind to do that, Abril, that would be absolutely amazing.
Sorry, can you repeat that? My data mobile is kind of dying right now.
Are we all good?
No, I think your voice was breaking, Reed. Could you repeat that?
Yeah, was just talking about the Morph Starter Kit and asking Abril if she would go ahead and go into a little bit more detail on what this means for the community and how it'll impact things moving forward.
Oh yeah, okay. So the Morph Starter Kit is actually think about like a boilerplate. We build this with different frameworks and libraries for you to get started immediately to build on Morph. So this is a extension of the existing React to Web3 kit from Protocol Explorer, but we added some of more frameworks that we're compatible with, such as Next.js, Foundry, Wallet Connect, WACME, ShadCN for frontend. And it's really easy to get started with this repo. I always recommend it, especially in hackathons. And we also built the npm package so you can use it in your CLI. And yeah, this is one of the basically like the frameworks that we provide, but also we have something else that I don't know if there's included in the slide, but we also built Awesome Morph. So Awesome Morph is basically all of the development resources in just one single repo. So we have workshops, example, all of our developer guides, all of our docs, all of the resources included, these kind of repositories are in this repo Awesome Morph. So let me find it so I can send a link.
I've
Also,
actually
I'm
just
always
dropped the link in the chat.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, so we are always updating this repo because as we are keep updating the developer resources, this repo is the most important part because you can find basically everything like articles, tutorials, videos, resources, everything. And yeah, it's a simple way to just get started for you to build on Morph and understand our architecture and how everything works. And yeah, it's really easy. We really try to make the development for our builders as easy as possible. So if you have any recommendations or if you want to contribute as well and send a PR, please let me know or do it directly in our GitHub.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Abril. So we did send those links into the chat. You can go ahead and go to the Morph Starter Kit as well as the Morph Awesome repo right there. And it's great resources for you to be able to succeed in the ecosystem. Additionally, we do have a lot of resources available in our Discord server that you can go ahead and go to. Get the developer role and see all of the cool resources we have there, from workshops to a bunch of resources on Rust and Solidity. It's a great way to kick off your development journey, or just sharpen your craft, sharpen your sword, and go ahead and get a lot better at what you're doing. So we absolutely are so thankful for all of you here today, and we really encourage that you go look through those resources.
Awesome. With that, I would like to add that considering that we also have the ETH Global Brussels winner here, we're also doing ETH Global Online, which is going to start very, very soon. I think it starts in 2 days. But the registrations I see are still open. So anyone who would like to participate at ETH Global Online can register on this link that I just shared. We are offering a bounty pool of $5,000. So that's up for grabs. And how many winners do we are we going to pick up? Abdul, would you like to share anything on that?
I can go ahead and jump in
Uh,
here. We have three
sure.
winners of $1,666 apiece on the consumer centric track, which we are really starting to push forward. We're looking for innovation and a good UX and UI, as well as a little bit more of the resources and things there. I can go ahead and go find the link and send it in the chat for you guys so you could go ahead
I've
and
just
learn
dropped
more
it in the
about it.
chat actually.
Perfect. Absolutely awesome. So go ahead and press that link and get started on your journey. There's going to be a lot more information there about the qualifications and requirements for you to take part in this online hackathon. And I think the cool thing about this is you can do this from the comfort of your home. You can do this from your favorite park, your favorite coffee shop, anywhere that makes you most comfortable to build. You can utilize that space for this hackathon and you can win big. So we want to see everything that you have to bring to the table, everything you have to offer on the consumer centric track, and you could be walking away with some good prizes, some good rewards. So can't wait to see you guys there. Can't wait to see what you build.
Perfect. Do register for ETH Online, everyone, and would love to see your projects. Cool. A few more announcements, I would say, or maybe one or two. We are also going to be at ABW at Token 2049, ETH Global Singapore, ETH Global San Francisco, and ETH Global Bangkok alongside DevCon this year. So you can find us at all those events and you can participate at all those hackathons as well. And I can go ahead and drop a link to some of the events that we're hosting during Token 2049 week. And you can go ahead and register for these events if you're attending the Singapore events. And you can stay in touch with all the event stuff on this Luma page by following us over there. Cool. And with that, I believe we're almost on time, but I'll just go ahead and quickly drop the link of our ambassador program once again for anyone else who's interested in joining us. Or if you have any questions, definitely feel free to shoot. Um, but yeah, Reed, anything to add? Abril, anything to add, or any questions that you see in the chat?
Yeah, just wanted to say before we hop off here that this was an excellent first community call session. There will be more of these coming in the very near future, so stay tuned for any announcements on that and go ahead and register early for those when the announcements go out. It was so awesome seeing so many great people in here. Natalie, I am so happy you were here asking so many questions. Vibe Man, thank you for showing up. Kursani, good to see you here. There was a lot of familiar faces, a lot of new faces, and we're really, really grateful for this. So thank you so much to everybody who showed up. Thank you, Manbeer, for putting this on. Thank you to Sohei, Sergey, and Flynn for coming up on stage and presenting your wonderful projects to everybody in the audience and to us. And we can't wait to see what you do with them. And it was a great time. So just thank you, everybody, so much.
Awesome. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining. We hope to see you in our future community calls as well. And do feel free to join us on Discord and Telegram, the rest of our social platforms. And hope to see you soon. Thank you. Goodbye.